Some people come from experiences that have been conditioned with attachment disorders and codependency. They may have grown up under the constriction of narcissistic parents that cause them to not be in control of their own developmental or learning process. When a child grows up in a family dynamic like this, a child learns helplessness. It learns to give its power away to the person in the environment that seems to be the strongest, the most dominant, the most threatening. What happens over time is this child learns to externalize its power, to placate others around it in order to stay in good company and favor so that it can get its needs met through whoever it's given its power to. Let's say, for example, you have a very powerful parent who is a business person, a politician, a lawyer, someone who is in the seat of a level of power that everyone in the family looks up to, but also believes they have more knowledge. They must know more because they are more successful than anyone else is. And so the entire family will give their power away to this one individual who seems to be the best leader of the family. The trouble with this is that it creates a vulnerability and a dependency in those people who have given away and externalized their power. It creates a helplessness within them because they are not able to solve their own problems. They are used to going to the person who is the figurehead and asking, what can I do about this problem? And they may be too afraid to go to that figurehead, and therefore they don't know how to solve problems at all. They don't have an outlet to be able to have someone to go to process that stuff with. So turning inward, becoming inverted, repressing any difficulty becomes their go-to mode. This creates an experience for the person where they feel very helpless. They do not have a critical thinking process, a logical process that is evolving, that's saying, okay, I am in control of my life and my destiny, so I am going to be calculating every single decision I make and everything that I do, and whether or not what I'm doing I can learn from. And so there's no wisdom growth there. There's no ability for them to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and grow from those mistakes. If you see a person in that power dynamic situation, you're going to see them hide their mistakes, be afraid to address their mistakes, and want to bury that under the surface. Therefore, they will lose the ability to grow in wisdom and learn how to cope with failure or perceived failure. They will have an inability to cope with looking at themselves in a way that failure is a learning opportunity, that when you do something wrong or when you don't get it right, that there is a process that you can become better through if you just own that, accept that, and actually learn from it. When you have a healthy person who knows how to take ownership of their destiny and their life and their choices, they recognize that they haven't done everything perfectly, but that life demands them to keep going and keep trying to figure it out. But someone who has been removed from their seat of power and has been overlorded and dominated, they are in a place of fear. It's very scary for them to make decisions on their own because they are not sure if they're capable of making good decisions, because they're outside of a logical, emotional, and mental and critical thinking process that's integrated, that can build upon intelligence over time. They lack the ability to feel instinct. They lack the ability to feel this intuitive knowing because they've got experience with a certain level of processing life and paying attention. That has been externally removed from them. Some families externalize their power. They may not have a matriarch or a patriarch in the family. They may not have somebody very prominent with status in the family, but they might have somebody who is religiously conditioned in the family. They might have that dynamic happening in the family where their power is externalized and their power has been given to the church leadership or to the leadership in the organization that this family values are centered around. And in that way, this can create the same type of learned helplessness, codependent output. And it can make a person feel detached from their level of being proactive to know themselves, to work on themselves, and to actually develop their autonomy and their sovereignty in a way that helps them mature and grow up as a human would over the course of their life. I have seen young adults who were overly controlled by their parents, whether it was through religion or medications or fear programming, what they do is they create a great anxiety inside of the child. The child does not feel in the seat of control of their destiny. They don't feel that they can make choices in their developmental milestone years to experience life the way that their peers are in the time when it really matters. They're being held back from that. They're being overly controlled, stifled, and it can create an incredible anger and rage that will build up inside of the person. And there have been situations where I've seen young adults go psychotic and have complete psychotic breaks because they cannot take the repression anymore. They cannot take being controlled. In a situation like that, sometimes they go psychotic and sometimes they become overly manipulative. They'll learn how to manipulate people. Maybe they learn how to manipulate the mother. They'll find a weakness within the mother and use the guilt that the mother feels about her over controlling her child to get what they want. When you see adults like that, they have a very difficult time maintaining a relationship at all. It becomes very difficult for them to even have good friends because they have attachment disorders. The minute that somebody comes along that will give them any attention, they'll attach immediately to that person and they will want to suck them dry of every resource and all the attention and everything that they want. And so they're difficult to be around because they haven't realized that what happened to them needs to be